Hi, my name is Teruko. I'm with Blueguard Ventures, which just launched Tokyo Bitcoin Base, which is a physical hub in Tokyo. And I'm here to learn the needs from community, like developer community, and how physical hub can actually help you guys to thrive.
Hi, good morning. I'm Piccolo from Bob's base in Bangkok. Bob stands for Build on Bitcoin. But again, just to kind of get aside from the confusion, this is a physical Bitcoin space, Bitcoin only, not the Ethereum-linked Bitcoin sidechain stuff. So yeah, and we'll talk more. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alekos. I mostly do Portal nowadays. Before that, I was working on BDK. On the side, when I'm not running my own company or I don't know, coding, I also run this space in Italy, in northern Italy, which is called HackBS. It's basically an hacker space, mostly targeted for Bitcoiners, although we are kind of open, not to shitcoins, but we try to be open to any technically oriented person, just to welcome them, and then we try to teach them about Bitcoin as well, trying to get them involved in the loop. Yeah, it's been quite successful. We've had a few students who didn't know anything about Bitcoin. They started coming there, and over time they got into it. Now they have jobs in the Bitcoin world. So yeah, I think this kind of model definitely works.
Hi everyone, I'm Lucas. I'm the founder of Vintium, a nonprofit funding developers and onboarding new developers to Bitcoin open source. You probably met a few of our developers around here. And we, as part of our onboarding efforts and community building efforts, we run also a hackerspace in São Paulo called Casa Vintium. And at Casa Vintium, we do all our workshops and bit devs and their in-person residency for our training programs. And I would say also, although we don't have houses in every places, we also have physical hubs in 5 other cities in Brazil, since they all run bit devs. I would say running a bit devs is like a little piece of having a physical hub for developers.
So I guess the question that we're posing today is around supporting these people that are doing projects and startups and all sorts of really cool stuff here in Bitcoin. What are some of the services and sort of the things that you guys are offering at your individual hubs that you would like them to know maybe they can come work out of there?
At Tokyo Bitcoin Base, since we just started, and then we actually don't have any technical savvy stuff yet, so we just don't know what to do with. Our property is huge. So right now, we are renting the space out for free to open source projects like BTC server. Maple space, they are for profit, but we are still renting the place for free. So other than that, we are still, figuring out what we should do.
Yeah, with respect to developer support, Bobspace runs a residency program that brings together open source developers under different cohort themes. We're now in cohort number 4. We started about 2.5 years ago with our first cohort. That was the privacy cohort, comprising Cashew eCash, PayJoin, and Joinster. And the second cohort was decentralization. That was U3XO, Calvin, and Davison, who's also here, also now a resident at Vintium. Our third cohort was Bitcoin mining, and that was Stratum V2, Braidpool / P2 pool reboot. KP had a change of heart while he was spending time with us, and also this project called the Loki board by Zach Baumster. So anybody who's into mining will be quite familiar with that. And our latest cohort, cohort 4, which commenced the end of September and it'll run through the end of this year, is focused on usability. And the 2 projects in this current cohort is a silent payments wallet coming out of India with one of the BitShala developers, and the other is something called OpenPleb, which is a QR to Lightning payment platform, and that's been ideated by Ganlav of Cashew eCash, actually one of, from our Genesis cohort, and now he serves as our mentor. But basically, I guess the service we provide in running the residency is, we form the cohort theme, we get sort of overlapping projects within the theme together. We help them get funded, and they work together under a 3-month hybrid program, where the first 2 months we spend, working virtually together with weekly check-ins. I actually had my weekly check-in at 5:30 a.m. this morning. So, yeah, I should kind of actually look at times and calendars and time zones. I didn't change it. The alarm just went off, and I got up and did it. So that was fun. So I guess what we've learned from the experience of running these cohorts is that, there's something to be said about having brilliant minds and people building similar projects or overlapping projects where they can, get to spend time together physically, not only to sort of help each other out with their projects, but over time form relationships so that when, they matriculate from the program, they keep working together and, take their respective projects forward. And so far, the 3 cohorts that have, been matriculated from our program, that so far has worked. So for example, I guess cohort 2 is a good example since Davidson is here, right? Calvin still talks about you, brother. He went to Thailand, was it 2 weeks ago? Calvin was in Thailand, and his slide that he put up, his first slide had your face on it. Say, I met Davidson, and now, we, work together really closely. So maybe I'll stop there for now.
I would say we take definitely a more passive approach. So we don't really actively organize cohorts and all this kind of stuff, mostly due to time and funding constraints. So for all of us running the space, this space is something we do in our free time. It's like we're volunteers, we're not paid, and it's not just about getting paid. We have other things to do. We have companies to run, startups to run. So for all of us, we cannot really invest a lot of time and also a lot of resources into those projects. So our approach is more, I guess, tying back into what Piccolo was saying, is more like bringing people together. So we are very passive in that regard. We just offer a space. We organize maybe like meetups, game nights, this kind of stuff. We get people together, and then we just let things happen. So we don't really actively simulate those things. And again, I think we can bring a few success stories even just around that. So there's been a few people who met through those meetups that ended up starting a company together, starting a project together. Unfortunately, not so much. There's not much open source. I mean, yeah, it is open source, but more like commercial products. What we've seen. There's also many like grant-based projects that happen at our space. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of chances. Like it could have been otherwise. In this case, it was mostly people who wanted to build a company around Bitcoin, so they started a company. But yeah, I would say for us the biggest issue again is time and funding. So how much time can we put into it? How much funding we have to fund people building stuff? Unfortunately, we don't. So it's just the best we can offer is you get to meet each other, and we offer some help. Like if people come asking me for technical questions, I try to help them out with that.
Sorry, quickly, I forgot to give a quick shout out. For cohort 4, Tokyo Bitcoin Base is a co-sponsor, so our cohort 4 residents will, for their physical requirement, will actually spend the first week of that in Tokyo, so thank you.
It's very cool to see like the relationship between the different physical hubs and the different programs. It's like 2 of your cohorts had Vintium developers. This is awesome to like feed like each region feeding each other. Like working in open source can be quite lonely, and it's especially difficult to onboard new developers and like less experienced junior developers if they don't have the structure of like a company where they have a senior they report to, and like they don't have people they can learn from. Not every project has a great mentor or a great leader. that can like help new developers come and get on board. So physical and not only like junior developers, like any developer would like to have like people to share and to exchange with. Some projects in the Bitcoin space have like annual meetings or maybe like 2 meetings a year where the whole team is together. But there are some projects where, like some smaller projects where the team never actually met and like they were never together working on the same place for a week. So that's what we try to provide also at Casa 21, and you're all welcome to come. We have even bedrooms you can stay. So during our residencies, you're welcome to come and mentor our students, but also throughout the year, you're all welcome. We're trying to do more retreats for open source projects that don't have the opportunity to do so. So thanks to HRF, we're doing this year do-it-yourself hardware signer retreat, where we're going to gather the whole team of Crux, Seed Signer, and the revival of Spectre. They're all dependent on the same library called Mbit. And Stepan Znigirev, who was like the maintainer of Mbit, is not like actively working in Bitcoin anymore, but he's going to be there in this retreat to like pass the knowledge to like the 3 teams that are working on Mbit-based hardware signers. And later in the year, we're going to do Floresta retreat, because we have now 5 or 6 contributors to Floresta. Some of them from Brazil, most of them from Brazil, but we also have one from Spain, sponsored, funded by OpenSats. So we're going to have the opportunity to bring them all, and also bring Calvin and Taj, who are U3XO like BIP co-authors with Davidson. So it's going to be awesome to have like that kind of. I think the powerfulness of having people together in a physical space is like nothing that we can do online is comparable. So that's why we do this. I think like having people together, like sometimes like when I worked for Lightning Labs, we would have like once a year or twice a year a retreat. And I would say it's like 1 week of work where we basically the next 6 months of work are based on that week, like based on the decisions we made that week and based on like the closeness that we got as a team. Like it's awesome.
Yeah, just wanted to quickly add on that. I would say just being with other people, not working from home alone, is probably the biggest reason why ACBS exists. So the whole thing started when I was working from home, and I didn't enjoy it. I was bored. I didn't have a clear separation between work time and personal time. It was just a mess. So one of the big motivations for me was I need to have a separate space where I can go and work from. Ideally, it needs to be with people that are similar to myself, so technically oriented and Bitcoiners. Ideally, should be close to where I live. This place didn't exist, so that's why I decided to open it. And I think there's lots of value, even for us as a company. There's actually people who moved from southern Italy to Brescia just so that they could spend time at the office with us, because I think it's, for any kind of organization, any kind of project, being together, not necessarily every single day, but often definitely helps with efficiency and with just helping each other out. And like if you have a senior, you can help a junior much more effectively. So yeah, I think just providing a space, just bringing people together, that's like 80% of the value. And then on top of it, if you have, again, funding and stuff, you can organize residencies, you can organize a lot of stuff. But just providing the space is already a big help, I would say, for many people.
Taruku, you're one of the new bases here on the panel. Yes. Can you talk about some of the early learnings that you picked up here in the first year? So
I've been operating the base for like 6 months now. We are trying to put like events, meetups, but like I said, because we don't have any like tech savvy staff on the ground, it's really hard. We haven't even had a BitTeps yet. So I'm just here to learn from you guys what I can actually do without having technical knowledge. But like you guys are saying, even just having a place for developers come together and then work together, like spend time together, that itself has a value. So I guess we are more like, leaning toward that way. So we will have that space, you guys can come and then work. Another thing I didn't mention is that, so Tokyo Bitcoin Base is Now it's just a co-working office and the event space. But we are actually buying up the property around and converting them into co-living spaces. So yeah, I mean, because Japan is so small, Bitcoin community is like really tiny. I don't think I can fill those big building with only local Bitcoiners. So what we are aiming for is to lure you guys into Tokyo and then spend a few months there working and then living, so that Japanese Bitcoiners or like even other who are not even interested in Bitcoin, it's kind of get interested in what you guys are doing and then get motivated to learn about Bitcoin. So yeah, having a space is probably the value we can provide for them.
And Lucas, you've been at it for a while now, and you finally left Lightning Labs. Can you talk about making that move and why you felt it was right to now do it full time?
Yeah, now I'm doing full-time not only the physical hub, but all the developer training programs. Like I didn't have the bandwidth to do the developer training program before that, and before I found a team to help me. So now we have more time to actually nurture the community, and we have BitDevs in 6 different cities in Brazil. Actually, a tip: if you don't have a city, like if you don't have a physical hub in your city, and you would like to have one, and I know it's costly, but maybe you can start like filling the waters by just like, if you have a BitDevs in your city, instead of just doing the BitDevs like at night at 7 p.m. and like you rent a co-working space for a day, and then you tell everyone like, hey, come in the morning and stay throughout the day working on your day jobs, and then at night you go and do BitDevs. Like that's something we were doing before we had the physical hub. We were like, some people were traveling to São Paulo for São Paulo BitDevs, and they were staying throughout the day in a co-working space we were renting or getting as a partnership, and then they would stay for BitDevs, and we would like find an Airbnb for them to sleep. That's something we can do, like a pop-up 1 day, 2 days co-working hub. And that's something you can do too, Taruko, like maybe inspired by Bob Spaces, like do more of these like retreats where you bring developers from, like, since you don't have the developers in Tokyo for like nurturing the technical dev space locally, you can bring every I don't know, twice a year, bring developers to stay for a month, and they can help you nurture the technical community locally.
And Alekos, you're one of the few people up here that is a founder. You do Portal as well, and you have a team for that, and you're also running a hackerspace. That's a lot on your plate. Can you talk about some of the the management and the time management and just the resources and the intensiveness that comes with that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So yeah, definitely it's a lot of things, and I want to start by saying we are definitely neglecting the hackerspace a little bit, because that's not what's paying our lunch. So if you have to pick priorities, obviously company comes first. I would say definitely it's very helpful to have people around you that can help. So I'm not alone managing the space, even though I'm like the president, the head of it. But the things we manage to do, even just, I don't know, cleaning and organizing all this stuff, definitely would not be possible if I were alone. So luckily I have people around me who care about the space, who want to see it. I don't even want to say succeed, because it's not like about winning or losing. It's just they want to see it running. Unfortunately, now we're going to have to close down the space, so I'm going to with this news. Just because we've grown the community a little bit, especially the people working inside of the co-working, and we cannot fit anymore. So now there's a big question of what do we do next? So this space, which was kind of small, we could fit maybe 12 people working. We could manage it barely with our resources, with our time. Now there's a big question of what's next, because we don't have the resources and the time to scale it up. So that's an open question. We're, I think, trying to look for people inside the community that would like to step up and volunteer. So if we manage to grow the team a little bit, maybe we'll be able to grow to a larger space as well. But yeah, it's definitely lots of work. Organizing stuff takes a lot of work, and even just keeping the place open, clean, available takes a lot of work. So unless you are paid to do that, and if it's run by volunteers, you end up needing a few people who kind of rotate each other. So now I'm here in the US, there's somebody else looking after it, and then we kind of rotate each other and take care of the space.
And Piccolo, we were talking about your jacket earlier and how people think you're the janitor at your space. Can you talk about why people think you're the janitor?
Sure. I mean, I mean, this probably happened a few times in 2023, 2024 when people would show up, let's say on a Wednesday, right? We do our meetups like Friday nights, but they'll show up Wednesday. You know, I'm there, usually working on a minor or, you know, maybe sweeping the floor outside. I like working outside. And usually, you know, I have whatever, maybe a tank top on, really sweaty, all dirty. And generally they'll come up and go, hey, is this Bob Space? And I'll say yes. And then they'll ask, it's like, you know, who's the guy running it? I go, yeah, you know, me. I go, oh, okay. At first I thought you were the janitor. And when I heard that the second time, I was like, yeah, I need to get, you know, this thing. You know, I need to be the BTC janitor, basically, yeah. But basically this is a janitor's shirt, a mechanic shirt, which I start putting tags on. I mean, for people who know me, I like to bob tag stuff I like, you know. If I like this hat, I'll probably just bob tag it so that none of you guys can take it. Oh, I gotta say something before I forget, because Lucas actually shamed me into doing bit devs 2.5 years ago, and we've been doing it consistently now for, every quarter. But bro, you didn't tell me how much homework it was.
Lucas, are you getting everybody to start a bit devs? Sorry? I said you're getting everybody to start a bit devs?
Yeah, everyone should have, every city should have a bit devs. Like that. And even if you're not like a developer, start a bit devs. Like I started my bit devs in São Paulo, and I was the host at first when we didn't have the developers yet. So it doesn't matter. You just, if you're not a developer, you can still go and read the Delve in Bitcoin polls and the mailing list stuff and like say something about it. Maybe you're gonna say, hey, I didn't understand what this guy said, but maybe someone in the room understands, like, and then that's how BitDevs works. Like, the host doesn't need to know everything. Doesn't need to be the expert who is teaching the audience. That's not how the format works. Usually, we have so many different topics, like 10 different topics, and as you grow your community, you're gonna have, for each topic, you're gonna have an expert. Like, you're gonna have, oh, this topic, actually, this is a contribution by, and the person is in the audience. Or at least they're working together with the person who wrote the email, or something like that. So it's fun. It's the best day of the month.
Hey, can I add something to what Alekos just said?
Yeah, absolutely.
But when we're sitting out there, I mean, a statement I made to you was, at least from the 3 years we've been doing this, one big thing I've learned personally is that for these types of spaces to be sustainable, you really need good volunteers and contributors. And you remember my statement to you? Willing volunteers are like 100 times better than unwilling employees. Because I went through both, right? You know, I started with an employee that didn't quite work out the way I thought it would. And for a time, I kind of thought, was it me? Because I'm paying somebody to work on Bitcoin, and I think it's a privilege to work in Bitcoin, right? Net, I pay to work in Bitcoin. But once you have that employer-employee relationship, but it's kind of, where the mission is to help the community at large, I think sometimes they're then competing interests and incentives, right? And that doesn't quite work. Whereas, I showed you pictures of, our group of volunteers that are a rotating group, and they're ecstatic to be there to orange pill people, to get people, teaching people how to use the Lightning ATM, for example. Yeah. So definitely willing volunteers, man. Yeah.
I think I agree with you, but on the other hand, I would say maybe you need both, I would say, because the problem with volunteers is you cannot force them to do anything, because they are volunteers, right? So the point is, if nobody is around, August, like in Italy, as you can imagine, in August everybody leaves, everything closes down, shops are closed, so nobody wants to be in town in August. How do you force a volunteer to be there and keep it open and keep the place open, right? So there's this kind of issues of, this is maybe an extreme example, but sure, volunteers are super willing to help, but there's some times where nobody has the time, nobody wants to do something, and this is where having an employee would be nice, because you can just tell them to do that, right?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Let me just point something that we did at Casa 21 that I think could be could work for you also, like especially if you're going to try a new space, go to a bigger space. If you get a space where you can have maybe some bedrooms and some beds, that can be super helpful, because we had some like junior engineers who had like this dream: I want to work in Bitcoin, I want to be an open source developer. And they had the opportunity to live for a while at Casa 21, so they were so grateful that they could like have a place to stay there and like also be around so many great other like developers who were already contributing to Bitcoin, that they would help and contribute to the space. And that was like accelerated so much their paths. So I bet that if you announce like, hey, HackBS now has a bigger space with a bedroom, like some college student around the world is gonna say, oh, I'm gonna go there and spend some like 3 or 4 months there.
Sorry, just very quickly. That's true, although, funding, how do you afford the bigger space? But we do have actually, we call it a company house, a portal house. So we do have a place where we live. So all the people that work, most of the people that work on Portal live there. And we also kind of use it to host people that want to visit for HackBS. So it's not really a HackBS home, but a Portal home, which is a bit open to anybody. But yeah, I guess totally agree. Problem, as always, is time and funding, and it's not easy.
Cool. So we're out of time. If you guys have any questions, definitely find them in the hallway. Real quick, where can everybody find each one of you if they want to reach out and come to your hub?
I just realized that how lucky I am, because I don't have to worry about the money. I have full-time employees, like tons of them, so I just have to really make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, for us, you can find us on Twitter, Nostr. We're at bobspace BKK or bobspace under BKK _BKK, or look for Piccolo and Piccolo everywhere. And as far as I know, I'm still the only Bitcoin Piccolo. So there you go.
Yeah, we're also on social media, Twitter, Instagram. You can find us searching for HackBS. BS is like bullshit, but it's because we are in Brescia, Italy, which is shortened BS. But yeah, maybe you'll remember it this way. Search for HackBS, you're going to find us.
You can find me on Telegram or Twitter looking for LucasDCF, or you can find the organization Twitter, Vinchun_org. We also have a Twitter for the house itself, which is Casa, C-A-S-A, Vinchun. And that's how you find us.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.